Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Watch Out. I'm your host, Drew Pizzulo, as always, and today is the March episode of 2021. Now, usually every year I do my March Madness episode. We're actually going to hold that off this year till April, the beginning of April. I have a special guest I'm going to be bringing on board this year for that episode, and we need another couple weeks to perfect it. So, hold on one sec. Reese, let's get out of there. So basically, we just need a little bit more time for that episode to develop. And in the meantime, I'm going to actually give you a watch review on the new piece that I got in this week, which is called the Rado True Thin Line Anima. This is one of the few releases by Rado in 2020. And it's a really, really unique piece. I want to go over some of the details of it with you. Let me show you the watch first off. If you notice here, this is the actual watch we will be examining today. There you go. Okay, it is... Reese's, enough. It is called the Rado True Thin Line Anima, reference number 766.6112.3.031. That is the official catalog number of this piece. Now, the first thing you notice about this piece is the fact that this is a ceramic skeleton with the date. This is the first time Rado has perfected this technique. There is only really one watch company that has a watch not in ceramic, that theirs is actually in titanium, and that is the Zenith Defy Lab, which I have reviewed in the past. This one comes in high-tech ceramic. Now, we all know Rado is known for ceramic. They are the godfather of ceramic, one could say. And basically, what's unique about this piece is the fact that they've had skeletons before in some of their watches, but not with the date. So you can definitely see the date woven into the watch itself. A beautiful piece. This one does come in what they call an olive green, but it really doesn't look like an olive green. It looks more like a beige or more of a mauve type of color to it. It has a rustic feel to it, more like an army watch. And there's the back of it, okay, as you can see right there. It does have a skeletonized back. This is a 40mm piece, a little bit bigger than some of their previous models like the Centrix, which tended to be in the 38mm line. It is the word anima, which is the name for this piece, was limited to 2,020 pieces for the year 2020 in which it was released. So it is a limited watch release, which is something that a lot of other brands do, especially Oris, with their Ocean series that they like to do, especially the Planet Ocean series that they come out with a little different versions. I suspect this watch model will be different colors every year if they continue with this specialized watch line. I could see probably dark blue coming out, maybe a red. They maybe fool around with colors, but this is the first edition of this line, and anima is the Latin word meaning air, breathe, or soul, and it refers to the openness of the watch's extensively skeletonized movement. So that's why they've used this word, and you can see it's absolutely gorgeous how they have woven the skeletonized movement into this piece. And it is pretty thin, okay, so it's very, very light. This is a different type of ceramic. I will tell you that this type of ceramic does have surface scratches. There are a couple surface scratches on this piece already, and I've worn it a couple days already. But they're not deep, and you can't really see them too well. But it's not like some of their other high-tech ceramic that don't scratch at all. So keep aware of that. Let me go over some of the other specifics with you. They like to brag that it's also been customized with bridges made from black analyzed aluminum. And that's probably what gives that aluminum, gives it those surface scratches that you could probably buff out if you do scratch it hard enough. So it isn't a big deal, but it is something to note. So it does have a 64-hour power reserve. and it does have a black rotor with the black DLC coating as well, as you can see over here, that they have added to this piece. So those are some of the specifics that are new to this piece. Let's talk about the 64-hour reserve power movement that they have in this piece. Now you got to keep in mind that I've now fooled around with this for about 3 or 4 days, and I've noticed a trend with this specific model. It runs right on time because I run it to the atomic clock if you keep it wound up enough. If you, let's say you go to bed with it, you put it on around 6 o'clock, you shake it up a little bit, as we all do. We do our normal shaking, and you shake it for about a minute, and then all of a sudden, we wear it. I go to bed with my watches, so if you wear it during the night, then all of a sudden in the morning, if it's not wound up enough, as it gets down towards that last, I guess 10, 12 hours worth, if you're really not moving a lot or not shaking it a lot, it will slow down. All of a sudden I have noticed that it will lose about 10 seconds, where it shouldn't. If it was, some of the other watches, the brands that I've had, don't have that problem. They will run pretty much until they just stop pretty accurately. This one starts to wind down around that last 10 to 12 hour mark. So keep it wound, keep it shaken up, make sure you're moving your body a lot, because this sucker, until you got it really, really up and running and fully wound up, it will lose some time if you're an accuracy stickler such as myself. Okay, so do keep that in mind. Also, with this piece, let's talk about the pricing a little bit. Okay, this was released in July 2020, and it was priced at $3,000. Really hasn't come down off that price too much. If you take a look at the actual watch itself, because of the limited number of them, with the fact that there's only 2,020 made, it's pretty much going to hold the line, similar to what Oris does with their limited runs as well. So don't expect the price to drop too much. I was able to get this one off eBay for around $2,300 when all was said and done. So you may get the discount of $700 or $800 off the retail price of it, but there's not a lot of sites that sell it. Rado seems to have kept a lid on this watch pretty well for the pricing, to not really let a lot of these other sites that like to sell watches like Joma Shop and all the other watch stores like that get their hands on it. So basically, don't expect too much of a discount. You're going to be anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for this piece. Hold on one second while I yell at my dog. Races, get out of there. Get. Thank you. So basically, that's what you're going to have in terms of pricing-wise. Now, it does come with a 2-year warranty if you do buy it new. So you do have the 2-year warranty from Rado, which is standard from Rado. And basically, what you're looking at, like I said, it has the ETA A31 L02 automatic 25 jewel movement. Now, that is a little bit different for Rado. They use a lot of ETA movements, but usually not this type. That's probably why, because most of their automatic watches are really 48-hour power reserve, not 64. So that could be why this watch runs differently than other models like the Centrics and the Jubilees and the Integrals that I've had in the past. They're using a little bit different model here, so it may be a little quirky, and it is a little quirky based on how it runs. So if you look at that, that could be the factor for that as well. Let's talk about water resistance. It's not something you get a lot with Rado. Rado is not known for their water resistance, nor do you expect them to have a high water resistance. This one is basically 3 ATM, like most of their other models. Some of the Centrics, you can get the 5 ATM, and of course a couple of the divers pieces are going to be well over that, so you'll be just fine. But don't look for this watch to be water resistant. Again, 3 ATM in Swiss terms is different than 3 ATM in Japanese or Chinese or any of the other American terms. It can take more of an impact, and you may be able to take it in the shower or in the pool, but I can't guarantee it, and neither will Rado. So if they see water in the watch, they're not going to repair it under the warranty. Don't take the chance when it says 3 ATM. Just wear it outside of water, just to be safe. Like I said, this is a 40 millimeter, and basically Reese's, get out of there. So you're going to have, it's a little bit bigger piece. And in terms of the links, these are standard links that do come with this piece. They do come in two different sizes, though. They do have the half links, which you can clearly see over here. And they do have a full length, but they only have one full length on each side. Okay, so here's the full length, of course, on the end piece. But you're going to have an extra full length here, and then the rest are half lengths. And you have that on each side. So when you size the watch, Rado gives you that option. Because two of these equal, if you look at over here, I'll show you, two half lengths right here, and you can see the size of the full length. So two half lengths are about a full length and a quarter. If I could just be specific there, because I know some people are really specific on, is the watch too big or is it too small on my wrist? I know I can be like that as well. You want it to fit perfectly, especially for the time of season. In the summer when your hand swells up as opposed to the winter when it shrinks down a bit. So they do give you the half length and the full length options on this piece. They do give you, obviously, the standard box and the papers and the warranty. I don't need to bring that out today. I've done that on previous watch reviews. So this is not an open box review. This is just basically a review on the watch itself. I've had no problems. I'm going to switch the time over here for you. This watch itself only goes one way. Okay, this is not the Zenith Defy Reese's. It's not the Zenith Defy Lab. So when I say it only goes one way, I mean it. You're only going to be able to go clockwise with it when you're turning it. I'll see if I can get this over for you. Okay, so you, as the watch, let's see if I can, there we go. Okay, so you can see the watch dates moving along as you're going clockwise, but you can't go back and forth like you can with the Zenith Defy Lab. So I just wanted to let you know that. That's the difference between the two watches there. Or you may ruin the movement, which is not something, obviously, you want to do with a specialized piece such as this. It is, like I said, very lightweight, very comfortable on the wrist, and at the same time, it does have its quirks to it. But it's really cool. I do enjoy this piece a lot so far, and I've only had this for about 3-4 days. I've been wearing this consistently so far. So I just wanted to run over you with some of the little quirks here and there about the Rado Anima. I do recommend it. Out of a 1 to 10, I would give this a solid 8.5 due to the uniqueness of this piece. I think it's really, you're going to get a lot of comments on it. It's more of a timepiece that brings a lot of attention, even though it's more of a muted color. When do you ever see this like olive green, beige-ish, gray ceramic? It's really, really nice. I'll show you how it looks on the wrist so you can see how it wears. It wears pretty flat on the wrist. It wears very nice. I have enjoyed this a lot so far, and I plan to in the future. So I hope you've enjoyed the review on this piece. In terms of the last thing I wanted to go over to you is link removal. It is standard. You can use your standard watch link removal tool for it. It does, like most Rados now, have that extra piece inside that you have to bang out. Make sure you have a good enough hammer that you can really bang through the piece to get the pin out, because you're going to have to put that extra piece in the middle of the watch before you readjust and you put your pin in and bang it back in to resize the watch. So make sure that you do have everything you need for the piece. If not, just go to a jeweler or a watchmaker, and they will take care of resizing it for you after you get it. So, again, thanks for joining me today. Now, like I said, next month we are going to finally do our March Madness special. I can now finally announce to you what it's going to be about. It's going to be about fashion watches. This year, the first year we did it was on divers. Last year we did it was on the bracket of the best Oriental or Japanese/Chinese, Asian watches, we like to call them, from last year. And this year it will be on fashion watches, fashion brands. So that includes I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to give it away. But the bracket will be released, and we will go through it with my special guest next month. And we will get right to that episode probably in a couple weeks. So I'll see you shortly. So thank you very much for joining us. Please always send me your thoughts, suggestions, likes, dislikes on this episode and other future episodes you may want me to review in the future. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time of Watch Out.